Expect a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. It'll also feel less humid this afternoon. We're dry for today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Those showers can impact your Friday morning commute. More rain, though, is possible Friday midday through the afternoon. Highs Friday in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. We're drier Saturday and Mother's Day Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What a great day today.
What's today?
National Nurses Day.
We're here today to pay tribute to the heroic
Nurses.
They're awesome.
They truly are our heroes.
Yeah, women are supposed to be nurses. Who says so? There are men nurses.
National Nurses Day, thanking them for their round-the-clock service.
Happy National Nurses Day.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. You're listening to Mornings with the LeaderMan. He's still out, recuperating, and taking care of himself like he should. I'm Dorothy, and I'm here in the studio with my two cohorts in crime. And we're rocking out to some Queen.
You can't think of his name.
What? I was snickering at Jeff over there rocking out.
His name.
I can remember his name. I was just surprised.
I'm not on camera, so I can do that.
I was just surprised he's over there bopping along to Queen. Good morning, Jeff. How are you this morning?
Hey, not too bad. Good morning, Moore County. Nice day outside, so
it's going to be a beautiful day today.
Yeah, get your togs on, get outside, walk the dog, take the kids out, play some golf, hit the park, go fishing. Yeah, go
do some
fishing.
Gardening.
Yeah, anything.
Get ready for those cicadas that are going to emerge anytime now.
Yeah, outside is the best place to be because inside with a mask on is like being a Democrat. So don't do it. You just don't need to be that stupid. So get outside, enjoy your day.
And as usual, I have John Zumwalt in the studio with me today, who's trying to harass me on a Thursday. It's been a long 2 weeks at me at this board that, don't be harassing me too much. I'll just turn your mic off or interrupt you.
Well, I'm telling you, you forgot his name. That's why it took you so long. And I identify with that.
I'm surprised you weren't over here dancing with him.
Well, I was, but that's the way I dance.
It's Queen. You can't help but bop along with Queen. You got a problem?
No, I'm just trying to. That's a lot better, I guess. I don't know. Perfect.
You forgot to.
You want it?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but nobody else can 'cause they've all turned their radios off by now.
I'm sure they have. They've been listening to me for almost 2 weeks. Hopefully I haven't driven all our listeners
Dorothy,
away.
I think you've done a magnificent job to be called in on short notice, and that, all of us miss Steve. I hope he's getting better with each day. I keep talking about when I had my knee replacement. It took me forever, but I recovered. I feel great, and I'm hoping that, and I'm sure that he will too.
No, he comes over here in the afternoons and does the weather, but he's moving slow and taking it easy like he should so that he doesn't re-injure himself.
A little slow like old Uncle Joe at the junction.
Yeah. See, you tune in here, folks, you get quality sayings. Moving slow like old Uncle Joe. You go ahead and jot that one down.
Yeah.
All right, well, we ready?
I guess.
Okay, well, I want to mention first that today is the day you can go by the American Legion.
That's right.
Yes. Food.
Time?
11 o'clock.
To 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
And you get a hot dog or a hamburger and some chips and a drink, all for just $5. That's a deal. Yeah. But more importantly, it's what the money's going for. The American Legion, the veterans and all the people they help. So I hope you'll swing by there. a hot dog or a hamburger, chips, and a drink for $5. And you can get as many of those as you want. You don't have to just buy one. If you went by there with $1,000, they'd sell you.
Oh, geez.
You'd sell them out in a matter of
Yeah,
minutes.
they'd sell you a trip to the hospital. That's right.
All right, the song when it came on. Do you professionals call that bumper music?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I call it. That's what I was taught.
Well,
I wouldn't call
anyway,
myself a professional, but that's what I was taught.
they were singing about National Nurse Day or talking about it or something. And so when I came in here this morning, I asked Dorothy, where does she get this National Day stuff? And she told me that she looked it up on them.
Yeah, well, we have a service we subscribe to that gives us some ideas for show topics and things to talk about. And that's one of the things that was on our little list today was National Nurses Day.
Well, I always say that you need to cancel those subscriptions because I just looked and I'm not subscribed to it. And they sent me all the date. I looked and to see what. And do you know this is National Crepe Suzette Day?
Oh, no.
I did not know that one.
Well, even more interesting.
It's World
than that,
Password Day, too.
You're taking all my thunder. Even more importantly than the fact that it is Crepe Suzette Day, do you know how Crepe Suzettes came to be?
I have no clue.
This is very interesting. You know how if you're, you know how if you're the boss, nobody wants to correct you.
Yeah.
And like if you're a famous chef, everyone has to act like they like the stuff you cook, even if it's known as. And this is, you don't get angry with me, folks. I didn't make this up. This is an old term in cooking that originated with my grandma. Crap. Even if you're cooking crap, the crap actually came from crepe. But Jeff is whispering to Dor and
Yeah,
totally.
Apparently our live stream on our website's not working in our tune-in, so I'm going to have to investigate that one.
But how about the? I guess the.
But YouTube is up.
Okay, YouTube's up.
And
course,
nobody said anything about us not having sound there, so you'll have to catch us on YouTube this hour, and I'll have to go see if I can't track down our problem.
If they can't hear us, they don't know to go to YouTube. So.
Well, we've got folks watching us on YouTube right now. Nobody has put up there that, hey, I can't hear you. So I got to see if I can't track down what's wrong.
Well, right now there are millions of people out there going, well, let's get back to the crepe Suzette.
Yes. What about crepe Suzette? Was it a mistake?
It was the chef for Prince Edward VII burned the crepes that day. And he was panicking because he was working for Prince Edward VII. Now, I don't know how they punished the chefs in those days, but
make them eat the bad food.
Well, you know what he did? Huh. He served it anyway, and he changed the name of it to Crepe Suzette. Suzette was one of the guests, and of course they didn't want to offend her. Everyone said this is delicious, and so now they have Crepe Suzette, and that guy is he came out. He's a hero. And now we have a Crepe Suzette Day, just because he burned the crepes.
It makes you wonder what our politicians are up to. Voting these days, they have nothing better to do, I guess.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I had a very similar incident, as a matter of fact, as luck would have it. A girl that I used to know a long time ago was trying to make me some cheesecake, and she did such a bad job of it, unbeknownst to me. She served it anyway, and she called it a enchilada, and it was actually pretty good. So,
well, with you talking about all this, sweet food and whatnot, you realize today is also International No Diet Day.
International No Diet Day?
Yep.
Well, who cares? I mean, that's every day for me. Well, was that supposed to be a big deal?
I don't know.
Good news. International No Diet Day.
But, I just think it's kind of ironic. You're talking about crepe Suzettes and cheesecake and things, that dieters don't go near, and it's International No Diet Day. So
well, you might as well, if you're going to have
may as well take today as a cheat day and go have some cheesecake and crepe Suzettes and some donuts and whatever else.
Apple fritters.
Apple fritters.
All us, what I like to call husky people, don't appreciate this. One bit husky. All
husky.
Right. This is also National Day of Prayer, which is a wonderful day. But now to show you how screwed up people are, I looked and this is the National Day of Reason, which I thought that's pretty good. National Day of Reason. Maybe you sit around and you reason things out. Like maybe I'll be sitting here and the colonel will ask me, John, What do you suppose? How do you suppose a fly can move before we can? Why are they so quick? Let's see if we can reason it. No, that's not what it is. Although I know the answer to the fly thing.
I'm glad you do.
Huh?
I said I'm glad you do.
National Day of Reason is to offset the day of prayer. It's a day for atheists, humanists, etc. And it says they invite you to share your ideas for celebrating the National Day of Reason, which is to offset the day of prayer because they don't believe in prayer. Now, so they want some ideas. If any of you have any ideas on how to celebrate your belief in nothing, maybe you could share it with. You got any ideas?
For those people, yeah, I would suggest they just turn out the basement lights and close the door.
Yeah. And what would you think? How do you celebrate it, Dorothy?
I'm pulling blanks here. I have absolutely no clue.
I don't even know how you could hate something so. The National Day of Prayer. This is a bunch of baloney. We need an opposite day. Let's call it the National Day of Reason, instead of calling it the National Day of No Prayer or Atheists or We Don't Believe in God. Let's call it something that'll fool people. That's because that's what liberals do. They change the name to something that sounds good. All right, one more. This might be my favorite. Did you guys know that this is world, not United States or not North Carolina? This is World Password Day.
Yes, I did.
Is there anything you don't know?
Well, I just told you it was World Password Day a couple minutes ago.
Oh, that's right. Well, how do you think I knew?
I don't know.
Apparently that's how I knew. Did you just tell me? No, I got it.
No, I think I just, I tried to.
What do you think World Password Day is?
I would say it would be, a reminder to update your passwords on a regular basis or make them more complicated.
It's nothing you don't know, is it?
It was just a guess.
It promotes. This is a day to promote better password habits, and I really believe in that. And as a matter of fact, I just booked a flight to fly to Dallas. I'm going to a password convention. Oh, I take this seriously.
I bet.
Here's some of their ideas, and you never, ever would have thought of some of these. Change your password to a long, complicated password. I can't even remember 1, 2, 3, 6. And I got to tell you something else. and all the nerds out there are going to disagree with me. While some criminal is trying to bust my great password, we've got 25 million people out there with a lottery thing trying to guess 6 numbers. And none of them are getting it.
See, that's my password, my lotto numbers.
Your lottery numbers? I mean, I have my own system for passwords, but another one they said, and this is one that a lot of people may probably never even heard of. Do not use what is known in technical terms as the yellow sticky note method.
Oh yeah, I know. They tell you to make these long, convoluted passwords that you couldn't possibly remember that actually aren't relative to anything in your life. Yet then they tell you don't write them down and don't store them somewhere. But you're supposed to remember a 16-digit password with both upper, lowercase numbers and symbols. Yeah, right.
Some of the symbols which I never use, and I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
What they're used for.
Well, obviously, they have the certain. You can only use these 5 symbols.
Yeah. And on top of all that, Dorothy, you poor thing, I saw you lift up your keyboard there a while ago and look on the yellow sticky pad to get the colonel's name. So yeah, I think we probably need to.
I mean, I get it. You don't want people to find your passwords, but if you don't write them down or don't store them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, all you're going to do is be resetting your password every time you want to log into wherever it is you're going to log into.
And that is absolutely miserable.
And that's a pain in the derriere as well, because then you have to go through this authentication and that authentication. You practically have to send them, your index finger so they can check your fingerprint and your firstborn child and all that other stuff.
Well, as luck would have it, tomorrow's National Derriere Day. So,
you can't even say it.
No, it's not a word I use very much. I mean, I rarely go to the doctor.
Is my English too complicated for you?
Not very much so. I've got about 12 words. Do I go to the doctor? I'm going to mess this up and say, doctor, the shot I'm going to get, is it going to be in my arm or my derriere? No. No. He's okay. Just a few little news items here. Did you guys know that South Carolina
Is a state? Yes.
You probably ought to let me do the joke.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was that again?
I said South Carolina's a state. Yes, it's south of us.
Yeah, you better let me do the jokes here.
I never claimed to be a stand-up
That was
comedian.
very rude of me. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Go ahead.
No,
What about
If you're not careful, Dorothy, we're going to bring Matt in to give you some
I know.
instruction on jokes.
Okay.
All right.
I suck at jokes, so I just like making him flub
He'll
up.
be over at 1.
Okay.
Her and David called her a while ago. In fact, I saw him text her and said, "I'm not going to be there. Interrupt him." Mm-hmm. Wait till he gets on the flow and interrupt. Okay.
David, you weren't supposed to tell. He's not supposed to know.
South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Anything is they're about to bring back. Have y'all heard this? I know,
heard.
Colonel, you'll like this. I like it a lot.
Oh, okay.
They're about to bring back, or they're on the verge of bringing back, firing squads.
For executions.
Well, not,
Well, for legal executions.
no,
you're
it's an
talking
after-dinner entertainment.
about. Okay, well, yeah, all right.
Yeah, for execution.
Yeah. There's several. Well, was it Utah does it, right?
I have no
Utah
idea.
is the last state to do it, but I've got to go back to your question. Now, Colonel's a big guy.
Well,
and
you
I
just said, what'd you say, firing squads? Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's my fault, I'm sure. I don't want to make you angry because you're a big guy and
well,
you can
you
launch yourself.
have National Guardsmen, you have you got all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm
Okay.
just wondering,
Yeah,
we're,
I mean, I'm
we're
with you.
talking court, sanctioned firing squad.
I'm with you. I just want to ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
When someone says to you, they're going to be using firing squads, but not for executions.
I'm trying to figure out what else could they use
What-
a firing squad for.
Can you name me like the top 3 things? Like
That
right
you
now, I
would
know
use
what you're
firing
thinking.
squad for? That, well, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shut up because the Colonel just pulled a knife out of his pocket. No, there could be a lot of things firing squads could be used for. Seriously.
Well, other than court sanctioned, that's what I'm wondering. What's the firing squad for? Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's court, court execution. All right, yeah. Well,
I think I got you on this one. All right. Anyway, but yeah, for executing people, and they're gonna, and it's because you ready for this? The reason. What do you think the reason is that they are thinking about using firing squads?
Probably because drug companies aren't going to.
You know what? I would have bet money you wouldn't have gotten that one. You have more than made up for the because there's a shortage of drugs to carry out lethal injections. Now, let me tell you something. If you go brush your teeth in a little bit, some of you, look on the toothpaste thing. It'll tell you if you do this, here's all the things that could happen to you. You could die. You could if you drink too much of this. If you use this pill wrong. If you do the insecticides, we can't find anything to inject in these guys' veins.
Oh no, they can find it, but the drug companies are refusing to allow it to be used for. For executions.
Well, I guess they don't want to lose.
They don't want to be sued. Well, they've already had several cases where, hey, it's it's cruel and unusual. They don't die right away. Blah 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 blah. So the actual company that produces whatever they were using has said, no, we're not going to supply it for that.
Cruel and unusual. Okay, as it stands, they're going to give them their choice of 3 things: firing squad, lethal injection, if they have it available, or the electric chair. Of the 3, what do you 2 think is the most cruel and unusual? What is your opinion? Because this is strictly opinion.
Well, I only know what I've read, and my understanding is the electric chair is the least efficient.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last one I would
accomplished,
want.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like being shocked. I don't even like being, that was a shock.
Well, it's just, it takes long. I don't know. I've read where, they've done it, gone through the process. Oh, no, he's still, heart's still beating, give him another jolt kind of thing. And
Well, so I think we all 3 agree that electrocution will be our last choice. Okay. So that leaves firing squad and lethal injection.
Illegal.
I'll get this
like
right in a
word.
minute. Lethal injection. Of those 2, which would you choose if you were going to be put to death?
I guess I'd go with the lethal injection, but
Yeah,
like I said, it
probably.
may not be an option.
Yeah.
If it's an option, I would probably take that one.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, we're not really talking about really what you're gonna. We're just talking about what if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think they put you to sleep. We all know that first with the whatever drug they use.
Yeah, I think they put you on. It's kind of like
Put
when
you
you
on.
euthanize a dog or a
Right,
cat.
yeah.
They put you to sleep and then they give you a heart-stopping medication.
And so
That-
there's nothing cruel about that at all. But you know
Unless
what?
unless somebody miscalculates and doesn't give you enough medicine
Well, then
to
you'll
actually
just wake up.
to actually kill you. You know,
You
I don't
would
know.
just
I
wake
don't.
up.
I guess.
Well,
I mean, I'm not too knowledgeable in the whole lethal injection.
well,
thing,
as
but-
luck would have it, me and the colonel are very knowledgeable about it. We know there's nothing we don't know about.
No, no. Saying I only know what I've read, and they've gone through the process, and no, it's not working yet. What's going on here? And
You talking about the electric chair?
No,
No,
I'm talking about with the drugs
Yeah.
and then pain and this and that and the other thing, and the guys screaming, whatever.
Yeah.
So. That's why my understanding is drug companies have sued or said they're not providing drugs for the purposes.
Well,
of,
they could give them immunity if they wanted to, but
Yeah.
but I think I mean I don't ever want to be. The main thing I want to say is I would never want to do anything that would cause me to have to be put down, so to speak, to have to
sure.
suffer
Be
capital
euthanized.
punishment. Yeah, euthanized or suffer capital punishment. But if I did, and I don't want to, but if I did, I don't think I would mind a firing squad as long as I knew those guys could shoot. I don't want somebody to shoot me in the knee and then the shoulder and like, dadgummit, reload.
We missed.
Well,
yeah.
I think the my understand. Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's all going to be different.
Yeah,
from
it'll all
state
be
to
different
state.
now.
But my understanding was the firearms used were in a fixed. Cradle or whatever, all aimed at one spot, and basically you just have an individual who's pulling the trigger, not having to aim or anything like that, and one of them has a blank, so supposedly one of them doesn't actually shoot, but nobody knows who that person is,
Yeah,
blah,
there's-
blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Well, you and I have both. I mean, I've heard that story and I
I
believed
don't
it.
know
But
if
you
it's
and I
true.
both know that if you fire a blank, you can tell it's a
Well,
blank.
but my understanding though is because of the way the firearm is mounted, and all you're doing is pulling the trigger, you don't get all of that. You don't get that kickback.
I
the
didn't know
recoil
that.
from the. Well, again, I've only read it, so I don't know if it's true or not. So
All right. The next headline here. The headline is Historic Mission Burns, and this is in California. And the only reason I want to mention this is because I think one of the reporters from the pilot had a hand in this story, even though it was in California. It says the blaze drew more than 85 firefighters, 12 engine companies, 5 truck companies, 4 rescue ambulances, 5 battalion chiefs, on and on and on and on and on. And it was pretty bad. It's a very historic mission, and they were able to stop it at least before it burned the altar in the museum, and a couple of other things. And the reason I say that I think a reporter from the Pathetic Pilot was involved in this was because it looks like a line here that was written by a reporter for the Pathetic Pilot. I picture them saying, "Okay, reporter for the Pathetic Pilot, we've got all these 85 fighters, blah blah. All we want you to do is find out, does the man who was arrested for this have an attorney?" And the last line says, "It was not immediately clear whether he has an attorney." So thank you, Jamie. That was a wonderful piece of information there. And by the way, the guy who they arrested has a nickname, and they call him the Joker.
the Joker.
Joker. And they're pretty sure they got the right guy. He either had just gotten out of jail or he was in jail for what crime would you imagine?
Arson.
Yeah. It's too easy of a game show.
And he was standing there in the crowd watching the fire, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, that guy right there. Get him.
Yeah, they always do, and the police are always out there videotaping.
Yeah.
All right, the Joker. All right. Hey, and one of the police.
Did he have his face painted while he was standing there?
It didn't say, but it says that they had sent a reporter from the pilot to find that out, and they couldn't figure it out. All right. This is I've only got a little bit of time, so I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go to first, or maybe the only one I can get to. But this is it's not funny. A guest on MSNBC. I had to read this on the Fox site because I wouldn't touch MSNBC. Said that the Republican Party poses a bigger threat than Al Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, the people who want to harm our nation, put together.
Yeah.
Has a bigger threat. You guys, what is going on? What's happening?
I don't know. I have no clue what these people are. Well, they're trying to overturn the institutions of the United States. I don't understand why that is on television and broadcast, and why anybody would listen to it and not say anything about it.
Well, they keep January 6th is going into our annals as a bona fide, as though it were a fact, as though just like you hold your hand up, it's going down in history as the most terrible insurrection ever.
Well, did you see what the Democrats have just voted? They're going to put up a memorial to that on the Capitol Hill grounds.
Well, you know what, Colonel, I think you referenced this before I saw it. Last month, the top medical examiner in Washington, D.C., concluded that police officer did not die. They don't even think he was hit by a fire extinguisher.
No, he was not. Definitely he was not. When you look at the autopsy, there are no significant injuries whatsoever. He was pepper sprayed or got pepper spray on him.
And the reason that's significant is, as much as I love police officers, and I'm so sorry he died, he wasn't murdered. He died of, he had a stroke, and then he had another stroke afterwards.
Had 2 strokes.
And so, he died, and that's a terrible thing. But you cannot keep listing that as the police officer who was murdered.
Yeah, there was no one directly died on the law enforcement side. Ashley Babbitt was the only one who was murdered. She is the subject of a homicide.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And all these other injuries and deaths were all unassociated with the January 6th events.
Okay, well, I want to tell you what I'd like to talk about next at 8:30. I want to talk about the completely, totally out of control, left-wing activist nutcases like Lowell Simon,
yeah,
who are doing their very best to destroy this wonderful conservative county, and we're going to name names and talk about that. You're not going to believe some of the things that they're doing. So I hope you'll stick around. There was a headline here about a lady who was viciously attacked and robbed as she was exiting New York City. She got mugged in the subway station. Now, that made the top news on the little barbs on Fox News. And I hate that she was attacked. She wasn't killed. She didn't even go to the hospital. But what I'm wondering is why they chose to print that. These people mugged in the subway. That doesn't seem like much of a story.
Doesn't it? One of those things that kind of happens all the time, unfortunately.
Daily.
I mean, if it happened here at the mall or something.
I say if it happened here in downtown Southern Pines, that would be newsworthy. But
it would be.
This is New York City?
Yeah, New York. And at the subway.
Yeah.
So it just occurred to me. She was leaving the L train and walking, and she had some money, I guess. I don't know, something. But the guy knocked her in the head and took her money.
Wow.
Hey, hope you're coming back at 8:30 because we really want to talk to you about some things.
And now it's time for the weather.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We are going to see a beautiful afternoon today. Expect a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. It'll also feel less humid this afternoon. We're dry for today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Those showers can impact your Friday morning commute. More rain, though, is possible Friday midday through the afternoon. Highs Friday in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. We're drier Saturday and Mother's Day Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump endorsing New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik are the House GOP leadership post, currently held by Wyoming's Liz Cheney, a strident Trump critic. A vote by House Republicans on replacing Cheney could come as early as next week. A bill banning abortion once an unborn baby's heartbeat can be heard has won preliminary approval in the Texas House of Representatives. Senate Bill 8 may win final House approval later today. The so-called heartbeat bill then goes back to the Texas Senate for approval of any revisions. President Biden hitting the road today. This time he'll travel to Louisiana, trying to drum up support for his $2.3 trillion spending package, commonly called an infrastructure bill. Republicans say that label is misleading because so little of the spending would actually be on traditional infrastructure projects. As the FDA considers authorizing the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds, Canada already moving ahead with vaccinating those in that age group.
Outside of the Northern Territories, Alberta is the first province to offer vaccine to everybody 12 years of age and older, no matter where they live or what medical conditions they might have.
Alberta Premier Jason Kenney on Canada's CTV network. In New York, Broadway shows will be able to welcome crowds at full capacity by mid-September, and it's been a long time coming.
All theaters in New York City closed abruptly on March 12, 2020. That knocked all the current shows off the boards, including 16 productions that are still scheduled to open. Some of the shows that were supposed to have opened decided to push their planned openings till next year, while others have abandoned their plans altogether.
Correspondent Oscar Wells Gabriel. Wall Street Dow futures up 43 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following are real-life stories from Trinity Debt Management.
My story begins with debt, a lot of debt.
I used my credit cards as a source of income.
It was not a good situation.
I couldn't pay my bills.
The interest on the cards was really high.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
I initially was scared to call, and immediately I felt relief.
They contacted all of our creditors, and they put us on a plan for success.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
I've been able to pay off close to $15,000.
We're doing a lot better.
Please pick up the phone and see how affordable and easy it is to pay off your debt.
It's a godsend.
We're debt-free for keeps.
Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
More friction between Australia and China. Now, China is suspending economic talks with Australia.
The Strategic Economic Dialogue had been a forum for China and Australia's most senior economic ministers to meet. However, in a public statement, China's National Development and Reform Commission said Australian officials were recently responsible for disruptions to cooperation out of a Cold War mindset. The origins of the coronavirus, alleged Chinese influence operations, the banning of Huawei from building Australia's 5G network, and Xi Jinping's cornerstone Belt and Road initiative have been amongst the points of friction between the two.
The BBC's Stephen McDonnell in Beijing. Secretary of State Blinken has downplayed any prospect of an imminent trade deal with a post-Brexit Britain. Blinken says that any deal will take some time. News and analysis at townhall.com. South Carolina is on the verge of bringing back the firing squad.
The South Carolina House voted 66-43 Wednesday to add the firing squad to lethal injection and electrocution as methods of execution. The Senate had approved the bill in March, meaning once both bodies go through minor votes on technical differences, the legislation will go to Governor Henry McMaster for his signature. McMaster, a Republican, has said he will sign the law. The addition of firing squads is meant to jumpstart executions in the state, which last put an an inmate to death 10 years ago. Currently, condemned inmates in South Carolina can choose between the electric chair and lethal injection, but lethal injection drugs are unavailable. I'm Mike Gracia.
The Biden administration endorsing the idea of temporarily suspending patent protection for coronavirus vaccines. The World Trade Organization considering the proposal advanced by India and South Africa. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care. Clean, professional heating and cooling. Carolina Air, the friendly guys. Service, installation, and regular maintenance. Unbeatable, dependable every time. So CarolinaAir.com. Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Warmer weather is on the way, but don't sweat it. Carolina Air has got you covered with our extensive 32-point inspection, so you can prepare for the summer months ahead. Your HVAC system needs regular maintenance to keep it performing at its best, so go online to CarolinaAir.com or call 910-684-3864. That's 910-684-3864.
Carolina Air Comfort and Safety, because we care.
Jared Kirk and Amy McBride of the First Casualty Insurance Group in Southern Pines talk about the benefits of being an FCIG customer.
Our agency has been in business since 1984. We are an independent agency, which means that we have numerous carriers. Having multiple carriers benefits our customers because it offers them more options for their coverage and price.
One of the most asked questions we get from our clients is how much do they need to insure their home for? Many clients think they should insure their home based on tax value or what they could sell their home for. Neither is correct.
Insurance carriers want to insure your home for the replacement value. Replacement value is what it would take to rebuild your home back to its current state in the event of a complete loss.
First Casualty Insurance Group of Southern Pines. Call them today at 910-692-8303 or find them on the web at fcignc.com.
At Pool Automotive, being local and family-owned isn't just a title. It's the lifeblood of our business. The moment you walk into our Aberdeen showroom, you'll be treated like family. You see, we believe that all our guests deserve quality, reliable used vehicles, and we have the inventory and finance options to make it happen. When you buy a new vehicle, the second you drive it off the lot, it's already depreciated by thousands. Before you throw that money away, come to Pool Automotive and check out our huge selection of premium vehicles. We have high-quality, off-lease vehicles, most of which are one-owner cars with low mileage and remaining factory warranties. Something else we do to save you even more? We don't charge documentation fees. Yep, you heard us right. No doc fees here. Come in today, 500 South Sandhills Boulevard in Aberdeen, or call 910-637-0057 and experience the Pool Advantage.
NCN News, I'm Mike Riley. A major social media platform remains unavailable to former President Donald Trump. Facebook made that decision Wednesday, and reaction across the mountain areas and the rest of the country have been swift and includes debate about the First Amendment. Haywood County Republican Party Chairwoman Kay Miller told WLOS,
My view is censorship, and I'm for liberty.
So I don't agree with it.
Haywood County Democratic Party Chairwoman Myra Campbell disagreed with Miller.
So I think anybody that incites riots should be banned from Facebook.
Liz Cheney, the number 3 House Republican, is blasting her colleagues who say it's time to replace her. For the first time on Wednesday, the House GOP leadership called for Cheney to be demoted for publicly opposing former President Trump. CBS News' Nancy Cordes.
In a new op-ed, she once again calls out former President Trump's false claims that the 2020 election was a fraud and stolen. She urges GOP colleagues to steer away from the dangerous and anti-democratic Trump cult of personality.
North Carolina students, educators, staff, and school visitors don't have to wear masks when they are outside and at school. That from the State Department of Health and Human Services Wednesday. Governor Roy Cooper visited a COVID-19 vaccine clinic in Mecklenburg County as he and other leaders try to convince those who are hesitant to get the shot to do so. State Health and Human Services Secretary Mandy Cohen said there are various reasons why people may not want to get the vaccine now.
Sometimes it's not convenient to them, right? They need evening hours or weekend hours, and we're just talking about here how we've shifted to moving to different tactics to make sure that it's convenient. So I think there's getting it more convenient and getting it easier.
Ready to return to office? A lot of people are. Michael Burnick.
People are contesting it already, so the courts are already getting involved.
You're listening to NCN News.
Are you looking for something unusual or hard to find? You might just find it on highbid.com. It's the online auction site for, well, just about everything. Highbid.com has estate sales, closeouts, liquidations, even government-seized vehicle auctions. It's easy to bid on office furniture, antiques, sports memorabilia, restaurant equipment, motorboats, even arcade games. You can search for items by name or simply see where the next page takes you. Visit highbid.com. That's HIBID.com and find out what you're looking for today.
For more than 30 years, the NC Rural Center has been working to secure a more vibrant future for our state's rural people and places. We operate in North Carolina's 80 rural counties with a special focus on individuals with low to moderate incomes and communities with limited resources. Whether it's through advocacy, small business lending, leadership training, or community development initiatives, the NC Rural Center works to build a brighter future for all. To learn more about our programs, visit ncruralcenter.org. NC Rural Center, building vibrant rural communities.
Pfizer says it's ready to go with its COVID-19 vaccine for children. That could have a big influence on curtailing the spread of the virus and on people who are still questioning whether they should get the shot. Haywood County Medical Director Mark Jabin says
kids can harbor just as much virus as adults do, even though they're not as affected. So if you decrease the amount of virus around, that's going to serve us all well in the community.
Some North Carolina Republicans are taking a different tack on legislative efforts to move up mail-in absentee ballot deadlines by also giving citizens more time to vote on the front end. But Democrats say the idea still treats voters unequally. Record new cases in India, where the virus is now spreading faster there than anyone else in the world. CBS's Chris Levy.
For most Indians, it's even more dire. Some dying in line as they plead for oxygen, a hospital bed, or even just a place to be laid to rest.
Just keep in mind India's massive population of 1.4 billion people, and with many cases and deaths going unreported, the real numbers are feared to be as much as 10 times higher.
California officials confirmed last night there will be a recall election for Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom this year. Newsom's Republican challengers include former Olympic champion Caitlyn Jenner. Here's Ed O'Keefe.
I need to find solutions to be able to turn this state around.
In her first TV interview since officially launching her campaign, Republican Caitlyn Jenner took on the current California governor's response to the pandemic.
Gavin Newsom on this issue has been absolutely horrible, okay? He's used it as a political tool in this state to shut it down, to control people.
The Olympic gold medalist and transgender TV star is one of at least a dozen candidates in the recall election. Newsom's been slammed for his pandemic response, including some of the most restrictive rules in the country.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good morning and happy Thursday. It is a cooler and less humid start to your morning. Expect a beautiful afternoon today with a mostly sunny sky and highs in the upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon, staying less humid all day long. Dry today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Could see a few showers for your Friday morning commute. Scattered showers are possible Friday midday through the afternoon, tapering off by the evening. We're drier for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And now for your Sandhills News. With health safety conditions improving in North Carolina, the Division of Motor Vehicles is resuming regular road tests this week. This ends the contactless road test program that had been required for 15 to 17-year-old drivers seeking their Level 3 full provisional license and a select group of other drivers who could not qualify for a road test waiver. All drivers who have already been scheduled for a CRT should proceed with that appointment, but be aware they will instead be taking a road test in regular traffic conditions instead of the parking lots where CRTs were conducted. For health safety reasons, all drivers will be required to wear a mask, as will the examiner, and all testing drivers will have their temperature checked before beginning the road test. The Southern Pines Police Department has recognized outstanding performance for 2 of its police officers, according to the Southern Pines Police Chief Nick Poldori. On April 27th, the Southern Pines Police Department's Awards Committee met to consider peer and leadership team nominations for employees who performed in an exemplary manner during the first quarter of 2021. The 2 awards recipients that have been recognized for the hard work and dedication they put forth on a daily basis to serve the community. Officer Steve Westman earned an Employee of the Quarter and Life-Saving Medal, and Officer William Byloff earned the Chief's Letter of Recognition. The Moore County nonprofit Friend to Friend, an organization that offers to help all persons affected by interpersonal violence, held a groundbreaking ceremony on April 27th for a separate housing unit for traumatized survivors. The organization has a residence in place named Serenity House that offers recovery with full-time staff. Butterfly Cottage will provide isolation for those with contagious illnesses and serve as a decompression setting for highly traumatized survivors. Executive Director Ann Friesen said a January 2021 fundraiser brought the community together to raise funds for Butterfly Cottage. The 1,400-square-foot home is expected to be operating by December 2021. And that's your WEEB local news this morning from the Sandhills Sentinel. Go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The first round of play is underway at the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. 4 of the top 5 golfers in the world are competing this weekend. Some of other big names are expected to join. This year's field has Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and Bryson DeChambeau, all ranked numbers 2 through 5, respectively. Rory McIlroy, Phil Mickelson, Webb Simpson also in the competition. Charlotte native Davis Love III planned to be a part of the field, but pulled out. The Hornets were off yesterday and are back in action tonight versus the Bulls in Charlotte. It will be the first of a 5-game homestand at Spectrum Center. The Hurricanes also off last night and also return to action tonight, also at home and also against Chicago. The Blackhawks. Carolina, meanwhile, continues to lead the NHL Central Division. The Panthers were idle on Wednesday while the Lightning downed Dallas to move into a second-place tie with Florida. Both teams are now 4 points behind the Canes with just a few games on the season and the division title still up for grabs. Carolina's got 3 games left tonight against Chicago and then a back-to-back set in Nashville to wrap it up. Tampa Bay also has 3 games remaining while Florida's got 2. The Lightning have one more matchup with Dallas before the Lightning and Panthers go head-to-head for a back-to-back set in Florida. Now, after Tuesday's win against Chicago, Canes head coach Rod Brindamore talked about the importance of home ice advantage in the playoffs and finishing atop the division, should they do that.
You never know if it's going to be an advantage until it's an advantage, meaning, you need that extra game or whatever. Then all of a sudden, wow, you look back and you think that was great that we finished that way to get the home ice advantage. But I just think more importantly is going to be for us to finish strong here, just to not have kind of the bad habits that derail a real good season we've had to date by kind of finishing iffy.
Hurricanes face off with the Chicago Blackhawks at 7 tonight from PNC Arena in Raleigh. This is NCN Sports.
Do you have a frog? You know, the finished room over the garage. Now that everyone's at home, are you looking to convert your frog into an office, a schoolroom, or a more comfortable room to escape your family? With no ductwork required, a Mitsubishi electric mini split installed by one of our diamond contractors will have you comfortable in no time. Let's turn those hot, uncomfortable spaces in your house into spaces you and your family will enjoy. To learn more, text COOL-NC to 41300.
If you still need health insurance, listen up. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina wants you to know that you don't have to pay a lot for a reliable plan. In fact, with new federal subsidies, more people than ever will pay $0 a month. You heard me right, $0 a month. So go to bestwithbluecrossnc.com to get a free rate quote. That's bestwithbluecrossnc.com. Premiums depend on plans available in your area, including subsidies determined by the federal government.
Today, one of baseball's all-time greats is celebrating a birthday. The Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, turns 90.
Say hey, say who, say Willie. Willie Mays broke into the big leagues in 1951, part of the first group of African-American players.
He could hit, he could run, he had a great arm.
Barry Bloom is a veteran sports writer. Mays had power.
Here's the pitch to Willie. Swung on, hit deep to left. That one is way back.
His 660 home runs remain sixth on the all-time list, but his defensive skills were just as great. In 1979, in his first year of eligibility, Willie Mays was elected to the Hall of Fame. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
Mays played more than 20 years, mostly for the Giants or New York Giants, I should say, and later the San Francisco Giants. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
My name is Tony Keith of Keith Hardware in Carthage, North Carolina. I'm the third generation of a family-owned business. We've been in business for 83 years. We sell live bait, crickets, minnows, and worms, fishing tackle, nuts and bolts and screws by the piece. You can still come in and get nails weighed out by the pound or ones or twos, however you'd like.
The guys, they know what they're doing. You don't have to ask for service. You tell them what you need. If they ain't got it, usually they can conjure it up.
Keith Hardware has been a tradition in this town for as long as I've been in business, 42 years, and they run a good business and they're good people.
I came in with 2 pieces of plumbing. I handed it to this guy, and he took off the back and picked it up and brought it back. Their knowledge is invaluable to me.
With Keith Hardware for 28 years. I rent the building from them next door. And Tony and Ginger are doing an excellent job. I'm proud of them.
Come visit Keith Hardware today at 207 Monroe Street in Carthage.
We're just an old-fashioned hardware store.
Jump into the fire at Brick's Wood Fire Pizza in the Cole Shopping Center and enjoy your famous wood fire pizzas and the Brick's Wood Fire wings in several flavors. New menu items and fresh food is made daily. A fun place for family and friends. Dine in or sit on the outdoor patio. So jump into the fire at Brick's Wood Fire Pizza, Kohl's and Hobby Lobby Shopping Center in Southern Pines. Brick's Wood Fire Pizza is open every day at 11 a.m.
You can jump into the fire.
War Dogs Army Surplus is Moore County's largest selection of Army surplus. They buy, sell, and trade Army surplus, and they'll match any legitimate offer from competitors with a price match guarantee. They'll match and beat any competitor's price by 10%. With the largest selection of vintage and modern gear and collectibles, War Dogs has everything you're looking for. Open Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. 675 Southwest Broad Street in Southern Pines, or call 910-920-7749. That's 910-920-7749. War Dogs. We offer more and sell for less.
Spring has sprung and summer is fast approaching. You know where to go? Bieber. To get your mower for service, take it to Bieber. Pressure washer won't start. Blower not blowing. Take it to Bieber. Trimmer won't run. Chainsaw won't cut. Take it to Bieber. Don't be left out. Have your equipment ready and your yard looking nice. And when your neighbor asks, tell him twice. Take it to Bieber. Beaver Equipment, located just off Highway 211 in Aberdeen. Or give them a call at 910-944-0402 and take it to Beaver.
Don't have a family member in the insurance business? Call us first. First Casualty Insurance Group. We represent over 3 dozen outstanding companies and can provide you with the right insurance at a cost that makes sense. Let's have a look. We'll do a top-to-bottom review and it won't cost you a cent. Your place or ours, there's no obligation. Get the coverage you need at a price that makes sense. Just call 910-692-8303. For over 30 years, our customers know where insurance is concerned, you should always think first. First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. 910-692-8303.
The most important thing about an investment is the return. It's tax time again, and Carolina Power and Generators wants you to know that dependable power and whole home comfort is quite the return for a reasonable investment. Look, we've all seen the news and know how important reliable power is.
So with a whole home standby generator from Carolina Power and Generators, you'll have reliability at your fingertips. In the event of a power outage, your generator comes on automatically while you stay safe in the comfort of your own home. No matter what life throws at you, a backup generator from Carolina Power and Generators will keep you powered up. And if you already have a generator, just call and ask about Carolina Power and Generators maintenance plans. Power up with Carolina Power and Generators. Call today 910-241-4677 or visit GeneracNC.com. Don't be left in the dark the next time there's a power outage. Power up today with a whole home generator from the generator guys at Carolina Power and Generators.
Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford, your only locally owned Ford dealer in Moore County. All of us here at Cooper Ford are proud to announce we have been awarded the Elite President's Award by Ford Motor Company. Presented to only 10% of all dealers nationwide for excellence in both sales and service customer satisfaction. Treating others the way we want to be treated is how we do business here at Cooper Ford. Located in the heart of Moore County and only minutes from anywhere. So please come see us here in beautiful Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net. And as always, working really hard to be your hometown dealer.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Pride Plumbing is proud to serve Moore County with superior workmanship and dependable plumbing service, including 24/7 emergency service. Like the name says, we take pride in our work and your safety. Our employees must pass background and drug tests and share Pride Plumbing's reputation for quality service. From simple leaky faucets to new water heaters and sewer lines, backflow testing and installation, drain cleaning, plumbing repairs, and, if necessary, replacement and remodeling. A family business with over 50 years of prideful service. Go online to callprideplumbing.com and check out our 5-star customer reviews. We offer a 10% discount to all veterans and active military. Call Pride Plumbing of Moore County at 910-295-0152. 910-295-0152. Serving with pride since 1965.
At Pines Funerals, your family's safety and comfort is our top priority. In light of today's current circumstances and environment, Pines Funerals is now offering from-home arrangement appointments. Whether your family is in need of immediate assistance or pre-planning for the future, arrangements can now be made from the comfort and safety of your own home, online or by phone. For family members who are unable to attend a funeral service due to any circumstance, Pines Funerals offers an online guest book, flower shop, and the private recording and broadcast of services upon request. For more information or to request your from-home arrangement today, visit our website at pinesfunerals.com or call 910-947-2224. That number again is 910-947-2224. Call today and see why more families prefer Pines Funerals.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is brought to you by Quality Built Homes, the Sandhills' #1 home builder, developer, and remodeler. With over 1,500 homes built in Moore County, we earn our name every day. Quality Built Homes, 910-944-7453.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. About 15 years or so ago, I had a meeting in Chicago. I was meeting with a bunch of men who were pretty far out of my league, to be honest with you. The company had sent me to represent us. We had the meeting at what used to be the Sears Tower, but now it's the Willis Tower. When I entered the room of about 6 or 7 men that were present, I felt like a sheep among wolves. All the men were dressed in suits. I was too, except their suits looked like they cost more than my car. During the meeting, after we got comfortable, there was a lot of joking and laughing. By the time I left, I was feeling pretty darn good about myself. I had gone in, done a little negotiating, and believed I'd made quite an impression. Then I got back to my rental car. When I was about to get in, I looked down at the driver's seat. There was a huge wad of gum strung everywhere. I checked the back of my pants. I had a foot-long trail of gum dangling off my drawers. I knew there was no way they could have missed that. As I got to know them over the years, we joked about it, although they were thinking it was a lot funnier than I thought it was. One of those men died last night. I'm going to miss talking with him. I wanted to honor him with a story that I knew that he'd enjoy you hearing. He always had a good sense of humor, and he would laugh at himself just as quickly as he'd laugh with anyone else. Hope everyone has a good day from the Zoom Wall Zone.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We are going to see a beautiful afternoon today. Expect a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. It'll also feel less humid this afternoon. We're dry for today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Those showers can impact your Friday morning commute. More rain, though, is possible Friday midday through the afternoon. Highs Friday in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. We're drier Saturday and Mother's Day Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What a great day today.
What's today?
National Nurses
Day. We're here today to pay tribute to the heroic Nurses. They're awesome.
They truly are our heroes. Yeah, women are supposed to be nurses. Who says so? There are men nurses.
National Nurses Day, thanking them for their round-the-clock service.
Happy National Nurses Day.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. You're listening to Mornings with the LeaderMan. I'm Dorothy, and I'm here running things today, doing the best I can not to run it into the ground. I have in the studio this hour with me, both Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Jeff.
Yeah, good morning, Moore County. Good morning, taxpayer-subsidized pitiful pilot. Is that what you call it? No, pathetic pilot. I'm sorry. Oh, man, I apologize to the pilot. I got it wrong. You're pathetic. You're not pitiful. Okay. No, you're kind of both. Well, in any case, hey, nice day out there. Was still really cool when I came in. So
it's still nice outside, and it's going to stay that way all day.
All right, great.
So no rain in the forecast till late this evening, I think. So
yeah,
enjoy the day.
Get outside. Take that filthy face diaper off. Get rid of it. Get your kids outside. That's most important. If you can, they should be in school. I guess they're testing. So
are they?
Yeah. Well, some are, some aren't. But get outside because that's where you're healthiest. The sun kills COVID. None of this other crap they're sticking in you does. Apparently, it really doesn't. Sorry. So, in any case, you're healthier outside than you are inside. Except you Democrats, please, head down to your basement, turn the light out, close the door behind you, and stay there.
And, of course, he's busy texting over there, so he's not even listening to me. So, good morning, John. I'm going to put you on the spot since you're not paying attention.
Actually, I was not texting. I was.
You making notes?
No, I'm sending you a text reminding you what the Colonel's name is.
Oh.
I was trying to help you, Dorothy.
No, you would, if you would have put it.
Now you're looking at your phone.
If you I just got to make sure my volume's off because the ringtone I have for when I get a text from you, you would laugh at me and probably get mad. So.
Well, I have to find out afterwards what it is. But anyway, no, I was wanting to research one last thing. It was a word that a critic had called me, and I didn't know what it meant.
Oh.
And it was pretty bad, so I'm not going to repeat it.
Oh, okay.
But if it were true, to be honest with you, I think I'd kind of be proud of it, but it's not true. But anyway.
Okay. Enlightening yourself this early in the morning?
Yeah.
You learned your one new thing for the day, so you're good.
Well, I can't help it what time they insult me. I've got to go with it. And Colonel, I wouldn't be laughing too much because they insulted you too.
Oh, did they? They include me? Did they?
Well, yeah, they did.
Okay. So, what you got for us this hour, John?
You know what? I thought we could chat.
Okay. Hasn't that what we've been doing?
I thought we could.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk about the left-wing leftists, as David Hensley calls them, very appropriately, I believe, the flying monkeys. But I think they need a little more insulting name. I'm just not prepared to launch it over the radio. I think Flying Monkeys is fine. But I tell you what, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. They have gone. I don't even. I know that people are supposed to say, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. But to be honest with you, what bothers me is that they are completely taking away from what is supposed to be happening at the school board. Now, let me make something clear. The people I'm talking about today during this session are not the school board members, not the ones that, now, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but the ones I want to talk about today are the people who are stirring things up. Just keep it going. I think I need to talk a little bit first, though, about what has happened in large part due to this radio station. And by the way, Steve Adams is out still, and we hope he returns quickly because he's been a huge part of all of these.
Yeah, he should return quickly because, you know, I feel like I'm driving off listeners with my bumble.
Dorothy keeps cutting herself down, but she does an amazing job. The part of the internet stuff wasn't working. She runs into a couple of rooms and does stuff and comes back and it works. And we miss Steve, but you're doing a great job. And I'm sure that listenership has dropped off on the last 2 weeks,
sure.
But it's not your fault.
Yes, it
and
is.
It's not the
you can blame
fault.
me. It's okay. I'm used to getting the blame. I'm the youngest of 4 children, so I'm used to getting blamed for everything.
You're also the youngest by far.
I say I also think I'm the youngest one in the building.
Yeah.
At any time.
Unless you include the building.
I'm still younger than the building. Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. We worked really hard, the Colonel and myself, and at the beginning I'm talking about, it was us and Steve, and we uncovered factual information about the old school board. We never said things like, well, they're talking on their phone or they're texting during the, we never said things like that. We never criticized them for something that, we never cherry-picked words. If they were to say something, we wouldn't search through the paragraphs and listen and cut out and say things and then just put that up. Every one of our accusations was serious business. Now, I hope you'll think back to when the school board first came on board, the old school board. They were popular. You were not allowed to say anything ill of them. It was verboten. All of a sudden, I'm speaking German. The superintendent, Bob Grimacy, was like a Greek god in the old times. You were not allowed to say anything about him. If he said something, that was it. It was magical. He was like Moses coming down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments. That was the atmosphere we were in. And I was right there at the top, leading, falling for all of that. I had never had any experience with school board, so I thought, well, he's a superintendent. He got to know what he's doing, so I'm going to lean to his. I'm going to follow him. And the school board, they're bound to know what they're doing. I would go to the meetings and listen and think, okay, well, Bob said it and they rubber stamped it. It must be right. And then one day, Bob Grimacy and John Barath showed up at a school board meeting, rather a county commissioner meeting, unannounced, in the middle of everything, got on the agenda instantly and requested one, I'm going to be wrong on my number, folks, but I'm going to be close. They requested $2-something million.
Right.
They needed it right then. And when I say right then, I mean they said they actually told the county commissioners that the county commissioners had 20 minutes to make that decision. That's what they gave them. Well, the county commissioners, because we all bowed down to Grimacy, they gave them that money. Now later on, they rethought that, and they didn't get it. And that's a long story. That story wasn't covered fairly by the pilot. We couldn't figure it out. We could not figure out, why are we the only ones reporting this story? We had another story of a contract that was broken by a contractor. And I don't know how much you know about these things. I knew nothing. So I started researching, and I found out that what a lot of you already know, that there are penalties for you not fulfilling your part of it if you withdraw from the contract.
Yeah, anybody who's bought a house knows you put the earnest money down, and if you back out, you lose your earnest money. Well, it's similar concept.
Similar concept. So I had we had a copy of the insurance policy and all that, and the school board decided they were not going to go after that $1.5 million bond,
right,
because, in their words, if we lost, we wouldn't get it. Well, you know what? you would have recovered that money. It was almost a given. But even if you didn't, it's not your money to make that decision. But okay, that's another one. Another one was we had all kinds of evidence. You just could not imagine the evidence. We can show it to you still about the Aberdeen school being built between decades and 6 decades of pesticide dumping in that area. And even after their Phase 2 report that they, by the same company, another long story, and I know I'm losing you, they found out there was lead in the ground.
And they weren't going to do that unless, they weren't going to, the school administration was not going to perform that test until it came out on this radio station, and then they did it, and then we find out there's lead in the soil.
And all of a sudden, their school board position was, well, lead won't hurt anything. We'll cover it with 6 inches of mulch.
Right.
Well, a listener did some research and found an article that the chair of the school board had written, Helena Wallen Miller, had written as an expert in these things.
Right.
I don't know, 10, 20 years ago up in D.C.
Before she,
Yeah, way before she got here, that said if you have any lead.
Zero lead
is allowed. Zero.
The tolerable limit for lead, and that's not just from her. That is that's a well-known governmental standard. No, zero lead is allowed in that kind of thing in a housing area, school, et cetera, et cetera. Zero is acceptable.
And they all knew that.
Thank you, Helen Wallen Miller. You're the expert on it, and you allowed that to happen.
And she specifically
voted for it.
Well, she specifically mentioned on schoolyards, never allowed in schoolyards, but she voted for it. Now here's the thing. Once again, the pilot would not give this a fair
They didn't
reporting.
touch it. They didn't
All
touch
they
it.
said was, rabble rousers, and,
Right.
they printed a letter from her.
Yeah, she lied. That was a lie. The whole thing was a lie.
And the thing I want to say about the school before I move on is this. Whether you believe that that's safe or whether you don't believe it's safe, I would like to ask you, if you were looking for a place to build your dream home and a realtor said to you, I have the perfect spot. We haven't been able to unload this land,
Right.
and it's a lot cheaper than any other land in Moore County because it's in an industrial area and it's right between two pesticide dump sites. And you'll probably be okay.
And the here's the thing: the pesticide, at least the one pesticide dump site, it's not like they've gone back through there, dug that stuff up, and recycled it, steam it, and whatever the process. It's still there. It's capped. It's just capped. They put a clay cap over it. And all that pesticide is still in the ground.
Yes, and to make matters worse, we don't even know where all of it is.
Yes.
There's no one who can tell you. And no person has ever said anything like this. I can guarantee you that is completely safe. They use words like, that should be safe. It will probably be safe.
Might be safe.
Yeah. If you were going to put your child on a roller coaster and a guy with 3 teeth came up to you and said,
broken arm and
and you ask him, is this thing safe? Yeah. Well, your child will probably make it on this ride. I mean, we have had children make it before, but okay. Let me tell you why. First of all, the pilot never, ever gave a fair reporting of any of that. Well, we find out later that the communications officer, if you will, I don't know what the exact...
you can't make this stuff up, folks.
Is the one who gives information to the pilot from the schools is romantically linked to the editor.
They're
Now,
engaged.
Of course, now they're engaged. And my belief is, well, how do you expect to get a right story when the school, the person who releases this information is in bed with the, so to speak, that's just a figure of speech, in bed with the editor.
And oh, by the way, the school administration pays advertising in the Pilot. That's the only outlet that they actually pay advertising to in the county here. So that's why we call the Pilot taxpayer subsidized Pilot, because we're paying, you're paying twice. If you have a subscription to that thing, you've already paid for it. They should just throw it out in everybody's driveway free. But then I'd nail them for littering if they did that.
Well, Steve Adams was the he's broken so many stories on this station, and so after this started gaining traction, and I can't even begin to tell you how people were angry. How can you say that about this beloved group and on it? But finally, as facts came out, and we presented them as facts, and that's very important. And there are many more. I can't even begin to name all of them. We had good people come forward, people like David Hensley and Philip Holmes.
The non-competition SFLA contracts.
Oh, yeah. I left that out completely.
That's huge. That was huge.
Well, I'm kind of running out of time on what all they did, but yeah, I'd like to see Barath and Grimsey come on here and explain the contract.
Yeah, they kept no notes. They had a no notes meeting.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Right. $100 million. Yeah. $103 million contract was what it boiled down to.
By the same company who was under investigation by police for doing this exact same thing in another county. Yeah. And John Barath was involved in this in another county. So that's 3 instances.
And John Barath used to be an employee of that company.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It just keeps getting worse and worse. But I'm finally going to have to cut away from this because we could keep going. It's like talking about your aunt that nobody likes, and you just can't. You keep thinking of stuff. Okay, we presented facts. We never ever presented anything without links to law enforcement articles, whatever you might want to have. We had proof. We had evidence. So we had 3 wonderful candidates come on board, and they won the school board race. And now they've got the propaganda wing of the Moore County schools, but forget them. I'm not even going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about the really nut cases. One of these, here's the problem. First of all, they do not present facts. They throw in just enough to make it sound like they know what they're doing, and then they twist it and ugly it and make it just sound horrible. There's so much hatred. If you ever saw a movie, or if you ever saw in person about an old-time evangelist preaching, you can see the spit flying out of his mouth while he railed and ranted, and in a good way, though. Well, that's what they're doing. There's such hatred that even during the school board meetings, you can see on their little Facebook pages that they're just constantly just look at him, look how whatever. Okay, they're who I want to talk about, because there are good people who have moved into this county, and that's the first thing they ran across was these nuts, who continue to rant and rave against Hensley and Levy and Holmes, and they've made some memes that they think were real cute, like Bob Levy in a Hitler uniform, and that was one of Simple Simon's. I'll talk about him in a minute. I'm running out of time. And one of these people who runs one of these pages is she's got a precious little daughter, but she lived with a pedophile, a convicted pedophile, who now, the last I heard, I don't know the details, is on the run because he doesn't ever put his change of address. But that was okay. That was okay for her to live with that pedophile.
He's still listed at that address?
I have no idea. Okay. No inside information, although they will try to make it look like I have inside information. Okay. Another thing that she's done, she's now awaiting her court dating to go to court because she was selling alcohol to children. This is the lady who's ranting and raving and talking to you guys and some of you innocently believe these terrible things they're saying.
You used the term lady rather loosely there. I'd say just criminal.
Well, you know what? I'm sticking with lady. I don't have anything for her except just blind pity, because she's just so pathetic. She can't. She's never probably going to be anything other than have her little 9 or 10 people audience, and I can't really hate her. She calls us loudmouths. She calls the board hearings, school boards, circuses, and the new three new guys clowns. She doesn't want you to watch these things. She doesn't want you to do your own research. You'll never hear me tell you anything, not ever. Especially back when we're doing all of our investigative work, we would always end it by saying, "Do not believe us. Do not. Go to these links, look this stuff up for yourself, because we are telling you the truth." And it worries me that the people that come to town, and new folks, read these things because they could sound logical to you. And it's always the same 9 or so people who do this. There's anger, a lot of anger. She accused me of attacking a veteran. First of all, let me say this. Colonel's a veteran. I'm a veteran. And yes, I will attack a veteran in a second if they are wrong. And you do not get a pass just because you're a veteran. That's not the way it works. We have the utmost respect for you, but that's too bad.
She's just making some nebulous thing that doesn't say why you attacked him or what the subject was.
I really don't have any memory of attacking a veteran, and to be honest,
you've never attacked a veteran as a veteran. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in the service. No, that's If you're a veteran and you're stupid and you're out robbing banks, well, guess what? We're probably going to talk about you.
As a stupid person.
Yes.
And it happened to be a veteran.
Right.
And there are a lot of stupid veterans.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're out there.
Okay, but can't end this without saying that we absolutely love our cops and our emergency medical people, and we love our veterans. And I have the utmost respect for what men and women are doing today. And the colonel, I mean, come on, he's a retired colonel in the United States Marine Corps, and I retired from the Army and as a Special Forces guy. So, yeah, you doggone right. We have got respect for our veterans. All right, I'm getting carried away here. I want to talk about Lowell Simon. Lowell Simon, the continuous, he does for a living. I think he runs for legislature, District 52.
The perennial loser.
Loser. I mean, what's this, 3, 4 times? I don't know how many times he's run. He never gets very many votes, but he calls himself, his stuff is getting old. There's never anything positive.
If you're wondering, he's the one that puts the billboard out with the marijuana leaf on it. Yeah.
Now, whether you believe that marijuana should be legalized or whether you don't, it doesn't matter for the purposes of our conversation. We were going through COVID. Our economy was tanking. People were hurting. We had so many problems. And what does this moron do? He uses his money to put up a big billboard with himself saying, legalize marijuana. Lowell, that's all you got?
Yeah, that is not a topic to run a campaign on. Sorry.
He's anti-gun. He's anti-Second Amendment. In fact, he doesn't believe in the Second Amendment. In fact,
he doesn't believe in the Bill of Rights, period.
Doesn't believe in, let me tell you how I know that. He made the huge mistake one time that other liberals have not made since then, even though I've invited them on, of coming on here and chatting with me. You couldn't look like more of an idiot. If you went to clown school and were the honor grad, you could not look more ridiculous than he looked. And he yelled at the very end. I said, you don't believe in the Second Amendment, because I lost my temper too with a nitwit like him. You don't believe in the Second Amendment, do you? And he yelled, no, I don't. I got to repeat this. I asked him, Lo, if you weren't armed, a guy came down the stairs right now with a gun shooting, what would you do? How big is this room?
No.
The one we're in.
10 by 10?
10 by 10.
Something.
Probably.
12 by 12 max.
You know what Simple Simon said? I'd hide behind a chair. Oh, that's good, Lowell. That'd take you maybe an eighth of a second longer to shoot you. So we're trying very hard to get pushed through the legislature for people like Lowell a concealed chair permit,
right.
So he can carry a chair. All right. He calls himself the Truth Police for Hensley. He rants about these obscure legal issues that he claims he's some kind of an expert on, and then he posts things from, you ready? The New York City Bar. Who, Lo, I don't know if you realize this or not. You're barely in when you're here, when you're not high on something. And I'm going to have to assume that you smoke a little dope, Lo. I don't know that you do, but you seem to be pushing it, and your actions seem awful like someone who's not in full control. But you rant about legal issues, and then you list New York City Bar as, come on, what were you teaching when you talk? Now here's what really irks me. David Hensley is a retired Marine. He was enlisted, and then he became an officer, and he retired as a major. He's built a million or billion-dollar company. He has billion-dollar contracts. He's extremely successful. And Lowell calls him a wimp. A wimp. I mean, yeah. I mean,
did he call him? I didn't see that.
No, he calls him a wimp. He said David Hensley is a wimp.
Come on, Simple Simon. Show up at the door here and say it. Say it to his face. Come on.
Yeah. Whenever I see Simon, he won't even look at me. And if you don't know him, now see, he's the one who brought up the term wimp, not us. If you look up in the dictionary the word wimp, they won't even have a picture of him because he is like 3 or 4 below a wimp, whatever that is. He's under like jellyfish slug or something when it comes to backbone. Simon,
we had a term for him in the Marine Corps. I won't repeat it.
Simon, you're a joke. You're a person who is trying to be someone. All right, here's my challenge to all of you hateful, terrible people. You've got 3 good men who it appears that maybe the school board will be trying to work with more closely, who are doing good things. They are making great headway. They're doing things that needed to be done for years. And if you see them texting, you don't have to fly to pieces. Why don't you analyze the things that they suggest from a fiscal point of view? If you don't like them, why don't you criticize those? Or if you don't like the way that they anything they say about the school buses or the whatever. But this stuff of constantly, they're all a bunch of Nazis, and then putting Bob Levy in a Nazi uniform, and then somebody made a meme of them being the Three Stooges. Oh, that's real productive. That is really productive, you idiot.
Yeah, they, in their last meeting, they just made millions of dollars for the county here in a variety of ways, and gee, there's something wrong with that, you clowns. I mean, it's evident to me the old school board and the administration, I think one of their objectives here was to drive this county into fiscal irresponsibility. And gee, somebody stepped up and put a halt to that, and that's your problem.
Well, we're just about out of time. So I just want you to, all I want you to do is just to look up the facts for yourself and quit blindly following these parasites who are just destroying us. Tomorrow, Judge Dietz will be on. He's running for Supreme Court of the state of North Carolina, and then there'll be a meet and greet at
the marketplace.
The marketplace at immediately following that, about 9:15. I really hope you'll go meet him, shake his hand, drink a cup of coffee, and gripe at him if you're not happy with the way things are going.
Question him.
Question him.
Yeah.
You've got to get to know our judges. They are probably the most important, some of the most important elections we have coming up.
Well, thank you so much for all your insight, John. Good, Jeff. It's a Thursday. It's a great day. Go out, get outside, get some sunshine, and we will be back here tomorrow morning. Have a great day.
Bye.
I come back, you'd better be laughing.
So, what have we learned? Heck, I don't know. But this is one crazy show. Bye now.
Cut! That's it. Go home, everybody. None of this ever happened.
Well, y'all come back now, you hear?
I think we're through here.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, man. That's pretty much all I got, man.
Okay, class dismissed. Rock on!
Well, let me tell you something. Everything comes to an end.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst Avenue.
News this hour from Town Hall.